Thanks for the countdown. All right, thank you so much, everyone.
We're currently in space,
All right.
and we are floating through the void trying
There
to
we
get
go.
back home.
We're trying to find Adam for these kids, and I don't know, we're not doing a
Yeah,
very good job. So we're
it's a very
somewhere
hard planet to find.
in the center of the universe. All right, here we go. Father Son Galaxy.
Nice.
So yeah, let us know. How do you feel about Skeleton Crew? How are things going? What do you think? Is it good? You liking it? Tell us what you like about it. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the first two episodes. All right, they drop together. So starting at episode one, called "This Could Be a Real Adventure," written by Christopher Ford and John Watts, directed by John Watts. Okay, when before the show aired, we were fortunate enough to be a part of a round table,
It was a
and
great
there was
round
a
table.
question. Yeah, it was a very nice round table, very cool round table, and we asked the question. Well, you asked the question to John Watts and Christopher Ford. Why did you choose to set the story after the fall of the Empire and during the rise of the Republic? And they answered, Watts and Ford, the worst time. It's the worst time for kids, right? Because they're lost in a galaxy. The timeline is chaotic. It's lawless. So this is what happened after the Emperor dies. All
I
right.
mean, honestly, I'd say the Clone Wars were the most chaotic time to be alive because it was a galactic war.
Well, I mean, even after a war, it's hard for people to put the pieces together, especially when it's a government that's actually being toppled. Okay, well, who's going to be the new government? Who's going to be in charge? How are you going to rebuild, and how are you going to maintain order? So there's a lot of questions that are going on, and there are people out there that are taking advantage of this opportunity where they feel that there is no law, there's no order, and they're going to come in and you know you take advantage of people and try to get rich.
Nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Excellent plan.
yeah, right. So now, and that makes sense. Okay, so when we see the crawl, it starts off as, since the fall of the empire, the new republic has maintained order. Really, have they maintained order? Okay. And yet, remote hyperspace routes are increasingly plagued by piracy. These pirates boldly brand their armored hulls as a sign to all ships: surrender or die. All right. So
Ooh,
just like
scary.
just like Watson and Ford said, the pirates are running wild. There is no order since the fall of the empire, and we start off with a scene where we see this masked pirate is raiding a New Republic ship, right?
Of course.
Yeah. I don't know why they think this ship would have treasures, but
I mean,
apparently,
isn't this like the same way that Ahsoka started? With Balin and Shin attacking a New Republic ship.
good point.
The New
Right.
Republic is just getting dogged on in every show.
Right. Yeah. They just seem to be unprepared. And does it also remind you of A New Hope? When Vader,
Yeah, when he busted
steps
the
in,
Rebel
right?
blockade.
The consular ship. Like we're on a diplomatic mission, type of thing. And well, if this is a consular ship, where is the ambassador? Type of thing. All right. So the pirate comes in and they, shake down a few of the rebels, and they have no idea what's going on. Um, and they find a safe, break open a safe. Well, let's talk about the start of the episode where we see this ship crash into a hull of another ship, and they invade the ship, and they get on, and they're blasting and firing all over the place, and then they get to this safe and they open it up, and there's nothing there except one credit, right? And
That's an epic troll.
yeah, and I expect Captain Silvo. They were addressing this person as Captain Silvo. He was the one that was doing the talking. We assume that's Jude Law, right? It has to be. Okay, all right. There's also a pirate named Brutus. He looks like a wolf, like a wolf man.
Of course, his
So
name's
he's the
Brutus.
one who is very unhappy that he and his men, or pirates pirates get on board, and some of them lost their lives during the battle, and they get all of this for just one measly credit, and he's very upset. And Jude Law, Captain Silvo tries to defend himself. We assume he made it out. We don't know. Okay, the second question that we asked John Watts and Christopher Ford at the round table was about the kids. And I didn't write down the question, but basically I was asking, what is it about these actors that stood out from all the other actors? Because they mentioned that they saw hundreds of kids, right? They auditioned hundreds of kids. The casting director saw even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were gonna say something?
What about me?
Oh, sorry about that, Keith. Your photo was probably underneath. It got stuck under somebody else's photo. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, so he told. So what they said was what they were looking for is they wanted the actor that came in to embody the character that they're playing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, not that they're not acting. Of course, they're still acting, but they, you could tell that they are that character. Like it looks so seamless that wow, they're really playing this character. We'll go through each of the characters, but they seem to be they're very talented. They have great chemistry, as we have told them. We were also fortunate to interview the cast. So, all right, let's talk about these young actors. All right, let's start with Wim.
Well, actually, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, like, this opening scene with Captain Silvo reminds me a lot of Obi-Wan, because we all knew that was Reva in the opening of the first episode, and we were just waiting for the show to tell us
To catch up,
that it
yeah.
was Reva.
Good point.
So, I'm assuming they're going to do the same with Captain Silvo over here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a very good point. Okay.
Looks like we're having audio troubles.
All right, well, we'll just...
Oh, there's our camera.
Okay, we'll just keep going. All right, we'll see what we can do about that, Eric. All right, okay, Wim. Let's talk about Wim. The actor's name is Ravi Cabot-Conyers. He's a suburban kid, lives with a single dad, played by Tubde Adebimpe. I hope I pronounced that right. He's a very busy dad, okay? We don't know what happened to his mother.
He's like a latchkey kid,
Yeah, we don't know if his mother is, if they're divorced or if she's passed away. But, he as the parent is, trying to do the best he can to keep a roof over their heads. Apparently he has a very nice job. Not quite sure what he does. But he is, just making sure that his son has what he needs, even though he doesn't spend a lot of time with him. But he does care about him, as we'll see as we go on talking about this episode. Okay, all right. So
Wham!
right. Okay, all right.
That's the funniest. See, I'm gonna spend the whole show just thinking about Wim's poor father. Imagine watching your kid get in a spaceship in a fiery explosion and then fly off into space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, we don't want to see that happen. Okay, all right. So another thing about Wim is, he loves storytelling. We see he has his data pad where he reads, a couple of books about Jedi. So he is very,
of course.
yeah, he loves Jedi. What he's reading are probably tales about, their heroics, their adventures of the Jedi. He has toys where he's, playing
the
with.
Jedi doing their Jedi-ing.
Yes, yeah. So he's a fan of the Jedi, absolutely. Okay, all right. Let's talk about Neel. Neel, this is pretty cool. I like the introduction of Neel because we see Wim is walking down the street, and all of a sudden you see you see Neel with his back turned, and then he turns around and he says, prepare to battle. Prepare. Yes, he's blue. He's blue, right? Prepare to battle, and he turned around, and you have these pretend lightsabers, and they start doing exactly what kids do. They make the sound of the sabers. That was pretty nice. So Neel.
This show is so goofy. I love this.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I want to, hear more about what you, like overall, what you think of the show so far. Do you want to You want to talk about it at the end, or you something you want to say about it now?
Good.
That's it.
I give it.
Okay, go ahead.
I give it 2 bags of Skittles out of 3 Twixes.
Okay, all right. Well, that means you like the show.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Neel is voice. Well, it looks like it's motion capture. Okay.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Those mocap suits always look so goofy to me.
Yeah, it's actually, of course I'm not a filmmaker, I wouldn't know, but I thought he was actually wearing like
A helmet.
a trunk or something, like not a
Like a
mask,
mask.
but like something like a helmet.
Headgear.
Right. Yeah, shaped like the character that he's playing.
I mean,
whatever
they
the
have done
species
those kinds
was.
of practical effects. That's how they did the Powens of Revenge of the Sith, I believe.
Yeah. Right.
With like the practical head mold. Which, it's interesting that they didn't think to do that in Kenobi.
Yeah, well, okay, that's fine. Okay, so it seems to be motion capture. So he's played by Robert Timothy Smith, and he is very smart. He loves school. He loves working hard, and it's very important for him to do very well in school because that's probably what his family life is about. Like this is why their parents send him to school so that he can work very hard and be one of the top of his class. And then he also has, apparently from the outside, looks like a great family life. Just the scene where the two of them, Wim and Neel, are walking down the street, their suburban street, and Neel gets to his home, and when he steps on that driveway, he runs right to the front door, and then he's like, "Hi, Mom, hi, Dad," and he says the names of all of his siblings, and they give him a great big hug, like they haven't seen him in weeks. And then poor Wim is just looking at him like, okay, yeah, right, feels good. Yeah, right. That's not my story. Exactly. So that's Neel. So yeah, but they're two best friends. They seem to get along very well. So okay. That's Neel and Wim. Let's talk about Fern. Okay, Fern is played by Ryan Kara Armstrong. When you look at me like that, I'm thinking like, okay, am I saying something wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. Like you give me that look.
I'm just looking at you like a normal person.
Okay. All right. Played by Ryan Kara Armstrong. Okay, so she is the rebellious person, right? She's tough. Although I feel it's just an act, I don't think she is as tough as she thinks or she seems. She loves to racing cars, and she is just bored with life. She just wants to do more.
I gotta get me one of those speeder bikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool.
You know what? If I was on the set, that is the one thing I would take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine smuggling that into the car.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't fly, you would take the bike.
Yeah, that would be an excellent set piece actually to keep like in the garage and show off to people.
Yeah. I'm telling you, look, I'm just doing a little sidetrack. When we come back, Return of the Jedi. If anything, I love that movie, obviously, but what they have done that is just historic is the speeder bikes. That speeder bike chase. Since that speeder bike chase, everybody from any parts of the galaxy at the beginning of time to the end of time, somebody's gonna have a speeder bike, and that's thanks to Return of the Jedi.
I feel like you could build a speeder bike in real life if you had the parts.
How would you get it to fly?
You don't need it to really fly. You could put like wheels on it. It wouldn't hover. You need to invent flying cars before you can invent a flying bike.
True. Yeah.
But if you were able to, you could just give it wheels up. Ooh.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. All right. So now, all right, a couple of things. We were talking about racing. Now, I don't know if you know this because you didn't see American Graffiti, but I picked up.
I've seen American Graffiti all the time.
Okay. Is that a joke?
Yes.
Okay. I picked this up. Okay. So American Graffiti came out in 1973. It was a movie directed by.
I swear graffiti in America was invented before then.
George Lucas. Keith, I have told you have to put these jokes and put them down on paper so you can write your own.
So So I could burn them at the end of
No,
the
no,
day.
no. You could create your own sitcom with this. So anyway,
Good luck
so
with that.
American Graffiti is directed by George Lucas. There's a character. Well, if you step back, remember the scene where KB, we're gonna talk about KB in a minute, and Fern are in the garage. They're trying to fix the speeder bike because there's something wrong with the engine. And this dude comes by. And remember you said this dude looks like he's in his 20s?
Yeah, like this grown man approaching these two children in the garage.
Hey, you want to race? And yeah.
You want to race into a white van?
Yeah, is your mom gonna let you out? If you are, I'll see you at the racetrack. I don't know what he said, but anyway. So
this goofy
the bike,
young man.
yeah, he just looked like he was just too big for that bike he was riding. So his character's name is Bonj Falfa.
Sounds like a bad vegetable.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, there's a character in American Graffiti called Bob Falfa, played by
Harrison Ford.
How about that? Yeah, right. I love the connection. It's so very good. All right, we have to say that Fern's mom, and we'll talk about her mom as well, is the undersecretary.
What does that even mean,
okay.
Undersecretary?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but it's a title. It's a big title. Apparently,
do you just sit under the actual secretary's desk, play video games or
under
something?
the secretary's desk? Yeah, that's her title.
Just snatch stuff to the floor and hand it back.
So her mother has a high position. We're going to talk about Farah.
No, she has a low position because she's the undersecretary.
She's the undersecretary. No, when she came into the classroom, she gave a sense of, I'm very important.
She thought she was
very
cool.
powerful, and I have something to say, and I'm very busy. But let me just get through talking about Fern. So Fern's mother is, somebody who's very important to the planet, okay, and to the education system. All right, KB. We don't know a lot about KB.
Yeah, except that she's not blind, even though she has that head
visor.
thing.
Yeah, it's cool to look at. I'm not quite sure the purpose of it.
Actually, I should get me one of those.
But they're cool. They look cool. You and I should get a pair.
That's so cool.
Of visors, right? But but she's very, very intelligent. She reminds me of a tech. Very. Okay. R.I.P. Tech.
Me after Dave Filoni kills my 1,000th favorite character.
KB is played by Kyrianna Kratter. Very technical. She's a mechanic, so she knows her stuff. All right, and she is good friends with Fern, or I would say best friends. They gotta be because they're hanging together.
I guess.
I want to say this, I hope you don't take it, to of offense, but the two of them together. Now, like I said, we haven't seen much of KB, but the interaction that KB and Fern have, you could tell that Fern's the one that's okay. Well, you know what? I want to get back at this person, or I'm angry about this. I want to change that. And Fern's like, okay, well,
yeah, she's like
things
a
are good.
calm and logical
Yes,
person.
yes, things are fine. Why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to race this guy? Why do you have to do this? And one of the things that she said when they met up at the site where Wim thinks there is a Jedi temple, and she's making fun of the boys. Fern is making fun of the boys,
which is understandable.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're a little silly. So she's making fun of them, and then KB says, why don't you cut him a break? And I right then and there, I saw Peppermint Patty and Marcy.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
leave it to you.
I don't know why, but that's who I saw. It's like, okay, Peppermint Patty is like, okay, go get him, do this, do that, I don't like this, let's change this, and Marcy will come in and just say, hey, you might have, maybe you need to apologize, maybe you need to, tone it down a bit, so.
Speaking of Peppermint Patty, who's named after a candy, imagine inviting yourself and two other people to someone's house for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's a classic, yeah.
Hey Chuck, I'm gonna invite myself, my friend Marcy, and my other friend Franklin to the Thanksgiving party that you didn't even say you were having.
Yes, right.
So, I'm expecting a 5-course meal.
Yeah, that's our annual favorite.
Had the nerve to get upset when she got jelly beans and pretzel sticks.
Now, to be honest with you, I don't know which came first, whether the character Peppermint Patty or the candy bar. So it could be that the candy bar was named after her.
I doubt it.
But anyway, so we're hoping that we'll learn more about KB in upcoming episodes. Okay, let's talk about the great work. All right. Like I said, so Undersecretary, what's her name? Got it.
Farrah.
Yes, Undersecretary Farrah. Sorry about that. Is played by Carrie Condon. She walks into the room, and it's just like she just comes off like, I am the undersecretary, and I am here to, I'm taking time out of my very busy schedule to talk about the career assessment test, right? And this test is going to determine the future. Your future is going to, if you, pass this test, this will tell you who you're going to be and what you're going to do for the rest of your life. High pressure. Like, wow, I never heard this kind of a test before.
It's like, all right, children, there's no need to be fearful and no need to be anxious. This is only the test that determines where the rest of your life will go from here.
Exactly.
You may not even be teenagers yet, but don't worry, your entire life is going to be planned out by this one test.
That's right.
But there's no need to worry about failing.
And if you fail the test, you're in trouble. Okay? Okay. So the great work, she mentioned something about the great work, and I don't know what the great work is.
She's honestly just yapping.
Yeah, well, I'm certain that we'll find out, but great works, plural, has been referenced in Star Wars in the past.
Yeah.
So, you want to say that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, it was like a thing that Chancellor Lena So was doing during the High Republic era. Mm-hmm. This, Starlight Beacon was one of the great works.
Yeah.
Like a treaty between the Quarren and the Mon Calamari, cracking the code on backtic cultivation. Yeah. Like a bunch of those were great works. I don't think those two things were related.
Yeah.
The great works, High Republic, seem to be like stuff, like technological marvels, and the great work here seems to be like one machine where everybody's just a cog,
Yeah, I get that vibe too. Like I was thinking of Cyril in Andor, the type of office that he worked. Everyone is treated like not even like an employee, but a machine. Like, okay, well, you put this together, then you put that together, then you put this together, and we all work as one. It just, it doesn't seem very humanistic.
That was such a good show.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for Andor season 2.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So.
You think they're gonna be in it? Cyril and Dedra?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They better.
Yeah. Their story has to continue.
You think they're gonna survive for the rest of the show?
No, I don't think they will survive because we don't hear about them. That's not true. Even though if you don't hear about them, doesn't mean that they're gone.
But we didn't hear about the Mandalorian until his show.
That's
we
true.
don't hear about him in the sequels, but he's probably still alive.
But yeah, so he was around. That's a very good point. But I get the impression that this is Rogue One, so it's gonna feel Rogue One-like. Anyway, so, and you're right. We don't know if the great work has anything to do with the great works, but we know that back in the High Republic days, this was about the Jedi at their height, trying to maintain peace and peace and order to the galaxy, and things didn't work out very well.
I can't stand the Jedi, honestly.
Okay, come on. You can't stand the Jedi?
I just don't like them.
Okay.
I couldn't give you a real reason.
I think you're making that up. That's not true. That you love the Jedi because you're always holding a lightsaber. Okay.
No, I'm not.
All right. That's true. We have a comment. Eric, thank you so much. I hope you can hear us better now. So, Star Wars having this perspective pushes the story forward, makes the Amblin connection direct, yes, and creates a project that can relate to growing pains of kids around this age.
Yes, because all children are the growing pain of flying in a spaceship.
Well, come on, seriously, growing pains.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, you have your own growing pains, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get one right now.
Okay. All right. Good one. April Fresh. Thank you, April. April says, I have the same issues with Wim as I did with Omega at the beginning of the Bad Batch, though. Stop all that running around and listen to the adults around you where you're trying to keep you safe. Now,
that's not the thing that my mother would say.
Well, April, that's a very good point. Although, can you really trust some of these adults? Like, remember the time that they're in, right? This is a time of lawlessness.
You know, I do agree with that though. They should. Wim should have listened to his father.
Okay. I don't think Wim is a bad kid.
No, I didn't say he was a bad kid. I just said in this particular instance, he should have listened to his father, and listen to his peers as they repeatedly told him to stop touching things.
Well, okay, that's another issue.
See that one? That's
that
his
has
fault.
nothing to do with his father, right? That's just him.
Yeah,
but
that's him touching stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like his father was giving him orders like, don't do this, don't do that. He was just saying, okay, you need to get this done. Here's your lunch money. Do this.
His dad was like, here's $20. Keep the house clean. I'll be back in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Bye.
Right. So he, like I said, he's a very busy parent, and there are parents out there, especially single parents, that are holding it down, and it's a lot of work. But you're right. Kids, don't listen to adults, and they get in trouble, and then they're in a position where now you're in a place where you can't trust anybody, like not even the adults.
You telling me?
Yeah, which is why this is exciting, because we don't know who to trust. They don't know who to trust. All right, so very interesting point. Thank you for that, April. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about Fern and Wim. Okay, Wim gets caught by the police or security.
He gets busted by 5.
Yes, right. He was supposed to be in school, and truancy officer, says, "Hey, come with me," and he goes.
Wim is incredibly intelligent, so naturally he crashes his speeder in a ditch.
Yes, right. Well, he's not a good driver. He's not Fern. He can't drive like Fern, so he's learning. Yes.
I've always thought that I could drive, but this show has really recontextualized for me that if I was at the wheel of a car, I would somehow manage to end up in a tree.
Well, yes, especially at that speed. Yes, you would end up somewhere. Yeah, but apparently he is not a very good driver. He's not a Fern.
But nobody in the show is a Fern.
Yeah, well, she stands out. And we'll talk more about Fern, but we're talking about Fern right now.
Who's your favorite character so far?
Maybe Fern, because I keep saying her name. I don't know. Well, what I like about Fern is that she takes charge. She's a leader. You can sense that from the very beginning. That she seems to be the one who has more common sense than everybody else. KB, she does as well, but KB is a little more withdrawn right now. Maybe that'll change. But Fern seems to know what's right and what's wrong better than anybody else. So she is the one who is trying to keep them all safe. And sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. So now Fern is in the office with Wim, and she got caught because she was speeding, and he got caught because he was missing school, and just that like look that she gives him, and like she got her arm over the chair. It's like, what are you in for?
Like they're in a jail cell.
Right, like, well, what are you in for? And I thought that was pretty cool. And of course,
cutting class, unacceptable, young man.
Yes, exactly. And right there, dad comes in and throws down the law. And
you see that is why I don't skip class.
Well, yes, of course you don't want to skip class. That is exactly what you.
What was that eyebrow twitch?
You don't want to do that. Yes. So, dad was very angry, but he had a point. All right. So. Okay, so let's talk about this discovery that Wim found, thinking that it's a Jedi temple, but it turns out to be a spaceship.
So naturally, they see this creepy, decrepit spaceship that's been buried underground, and their first thought is, let's go inside.
Yes, right. Nobody decided to run out of the ship, but they just kept going in.
Just like when I see abandoned houses on the street, my first thought is to enter them and look around.
Right, and especially when you find... Did they find a skeleton, or I think it was Neel that found a skeleton? Like that.
Yeah, I think it was like a depowered robot.
That would be a sign.
Like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's just keep going deeper into the ship.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great idea.
That would be a sign to run in the opposite direction. But hey, all right. Anyway, so yes, and Wim, he's very curious, and he starts hitting buttons when he shouldn't, and he hits the button, the ship powers up. His father comes home. Father's name is Wendell, and by the way,
Wendy. I think his dad's name is Wendy.
No, it was Wendell, but I mistyped.
It's Wendy.
Okay.
I'm Googling it.
Wendell, his name is not Wendy, it's Wendell.
Okay.
So Wendell, one of the things I want to say about the parents, by the way, and I want to, this is very important, I want to say this. I am so glad that the parents are not the type of parents, when your focus is on a show that's dealing with kids, the parents, the adults, tend to be irrelevant.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. Like in Charlie Brown.
Exactly.
When the parents are just...
Right. Like they don't have a voice or no one cares what they have to say. I'm liking how the father, Wendell and Farrah are written.
Actual people who are concerned for their children's well-being. Instead of just, they'll come back as long as they're back before the street lights are off,
Yes, exactly.
They're not those kind of people who don't care what their children do.
That's right. And their parents being parents, they want the best for their parents. I would not say that either one of them are a bad parent. They are not.
And their kids aren't bad either. They just made a series of unfounded decisions.
Yes, kids do kids things. Yes. So Wendell hits a button. Ship takes off. Wendell comes home and he realizes that his son is not there. The only thing I don't know, unless you remember, how did Wendell, the dad, know where to find Wim?
He found his helmet on the ground.
So he was just walking around and found his helmet.
Yeah.
And then
he saw the big spaceship thing.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Where?"
Got it. Okay. All right. So poor dad, could not save his son. By the time he got there, the ship was already taken off and shot through space. And
Wim almost fell off the ship.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So the kids had to hold on to
all three of these children holding up this one kid.
And then the ship on autopilot. I don't even know how it could do this, but the ship just jumps into hyperspace and the end of episode 1.
That big triangle-shaped ship.
Yeah. Okay.
It looked like the Domo from Eternals.
We have Cody Castillo. Thank you, Cody. Okay, I'll read it.
I'm doing great.
Yes.
I love so far the 80s vibes of the show and the kid performers. Me too.
Agree.
Good show.
Eric says Neel is my favorite. He's like cross between Samwise. Samwise, I like that. And a sensitive puppy. Samwise from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I like that. That's good. All right, let me know.
Would you believe me if I said I still haven't seen Lord of the Rings?
That's fine. These movies are very long. And you know what? You and I have not seen it in a very long time. So you and I would sit down and watch these 3 movies. So, let me know.
I can't.
Well, I didn't ask you. Who's your favorite? Did you say who your favorite was?
No.
Do you have a favorite? Oh, you say you didn't have a favorite.
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
I can't wait till Christmas break. I'm gonna lock myself in my room and play Minecraft the whole time.
Okay, good. All right. All right. So let's move. Yes, Minecraft is never far away from you. Okay, let's move on to episode 2. And by the way, if you're in the chat, shout out who your favorite character is, all right? And, what you like about the show, okay? So let's move on to episode 2 called Way, Way Out Past the Barrier. Written by Christopher Ford and John Watts, directed by David Lowery. All right, so we got what's Star Wars without a new droid? We gotta have a new droid, right?
Yeah, every show's gotta have a droid.
Exactly. And you know what? They knock it out of the park with these droids. These droids really, they have character.
For a bunch of machines that aren't meant to have personalities, they do a great job individualizing each robot.
Yeah. They seem to have. Yes, you're right. That's a very good word. Personality. More so than humans. So we have SM-33 voiced by Nick Frost. On the ship apparently, whoever the captain was on the ship is gone. And he wakes up from his slumber or whatever was going on, and he's looking for his captain. And Fern, being the smart one, smarter than the rest of them, she says, you know what, I'm the captain now.
She has all the collective brain cells in the group.
Exactly right.
Look at me, I am the captain now.
That's right. And then, of course, Wim, I wanted to be the captain. Sit down, Wim.
It's really funny, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's think about it. All the Disney shows have had droids. Mando had R5, Obi-Wan had Lola, Ahsoka had Chopper.
Yep.
So they do all have droids.
Boys are very important. They're very important people. Now, I want to talk about something, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but I think I am jumping ahead. I'm not going to say it. Okay, so let's keep going. So Kara, Fern, being the smart one, says to the droid SM-33, we need to get back to our planet at Aden. Of course, the droid has never heard of Aden. He's looked on his map, doesn't exist. All right, she said, okay, well, why don't you take us to a port where we can get help and maybe somebody there would know where to find Aden and get us back to our planet. So we go to Port Borgo. Something that
reminds me of Orgo Court from Guardians 3.
Oh,
the name at least.
Okay, there might be a connection there.
Borgo, Port, Court.
Right. Something that's SM-33 says, this is the place where you can rest well in a soft bed or in a shallow grave.
I'm gonna start saying that. That's so funny.
That's a vacation. That's a place where you want to go. That's where you want to go. Yeah. So now,
like either way, you're gonna sleep tight.
Yes, you're gonna sleep tight either permanently or just for a few hours. Okay, so and of course Port Borgo. It's like the creature
pirate port.
It's like the cantina on Tatooine with these shady people, not to be trusted.
Yeah, of course not.
Very, very, very shady.
And, they see a bunch of kids and they're just naturally like, ah! So.
Yeah, right. Like, okay, well, here we go. So, remember we talked about in episode 1 about these credits that Wendell gave his son. And the credits are Old Republic credits, okay? And, we thought nothing of it. So, he's putting them in his pocket, making sure that he has them.
Nobody take those. No one accepts that currency.
Well, right.
That's like trying to pay for something in America with pounds.
Okay. Well, the difference is, in this case, is it is valuable, right? Because when he wants to get something to eat, and he goes up to the bartender and say, hey, okay, give me a bowl of whatever you got. And, okay, well, where's the money, kid? And then when pulls out a Old Republic credit, is like, hey, where'd you get this from? So apparently this is a value.
This Mr. Krabs looking bartender is like,
yeah.
Ooh, shiny, give me more.
Right, exactly. So now people that are in the bar are looking strange, like, okay, well, where's this kid? Where'd he get this money from? And this must tie into what Captain Silva was looking for, the treasure that he was looking for at the beginning. That's my thought. I don't know if it's true or not. At the beginning of episode 1, maybe that's what they were looking for, these Old Republic credits, and they didn't have it. And here we go. Wim's got quite a few of them. Yeah. So now...
Poor kids getting robbed.
Yeah.
That's like flashing your money in the hood,
Right. And then talking about, people who, adults you can trust or not trust. So there's this woman that approaches Fern and KD and said, well, I'm sorry, KB, right?
Yeah.
Okay, KB, well, why are you here? What are you doing here? All right, we gotta get you.
The place for kids.
Yeah. You shouldn't be here.
She walks up the club.
And then she started pulling the kids, like, okay, well, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to help us or are you trying to hurt us? Type of thing.
Yeah, you trying to throw us in a jail cell or something?
Right, exactly.
Of course she was a good person, I think. I don't know.
Well, I'm not.
I think she had good intentions.
She was a little. Once she started forcing the kids to go with her, I think that was when
stealing children.
She lost all credibility.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. So anyway, of course they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Fern, I don't even know where she got the blaster, but she had a blaster and she
lost it instantly.
Right.
Like she got disarmed faster than my bank account runs out.
Yes, exactly. So Bane, remember him from Mandalorian season 3. He shows up. He's a pirate.
Bane, like the guy from Batman.
That was his name, right? Bane.
I think it was Vane. I don't know.
Oh, you might be right. I made a mistake. You might be right. I think it's Vane.
The man who broke the bat.
That's right. I'm sorry. Vane showed up and snatched the gun away from her. And then here comes SM-33.
Give me that.
Yeah, stay away from my captain. And he puts up a good fight. And, he's throwing people around. And the kids try to escape. And
good luck with that.
They get caught. They get put in the brig. What's a brig? There you go. So
now you find out.
Yeah, they're in this jail cell. What we call a jail cell. And they see a key all the way over there. Like, okay, well, we need that key in order for us to open the gate so we can get out. So, they asked this little animal, like, can you go get the key? And the animal says, no, you get your own key.
You're like, he got there, and then he ran off.
Right, yeah. He said, why am I doing this?
He said, hey, you know what? Don't have to listen to you.
Yeah, I'm not.
Bye-bye.
I'm free. I go wherever I want.
So really vanished.
Yes. So now it's like, well, what are we going to do? The key is over there. And then here's this person in the shadows come and say, well, I can help you. And then puts out his arms, and the key just moves all the way over into his hands. Like, wow, is this really a Jedi? We don't know. It looks like he's got skills, right? And then the hooded guy, actually pulls the hood back and it reveals that he's Jude Law. Captain Silvo, maybe? I guess. I don't know. That's how episode 2 ends.
John Nana. Banana would.
Yeah, right. John Nana. Yeah. Yeah. So that's his name. Or is it Captain Silvo? I don't know. But anyway, so.
I don't know. Whatever this dude's name is.
Yeah.
Both of them are goofy.
Yeah. Eric says, I don't think Jod, Law's characters, can be trusted. I agree. He gave me DJ from The Last Jedi.
I don't like
DJ
that
energy, being able to free himself from captivity and wait on new prisoners to exploit.
The Last Jedi.
Learn to be a decent person, right?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it is kind of weird that he had access to the key all that time, but he just waited for somebody else to get thrown in his cell.
Well, that's true.
Like, he had no ship, I'm assuming.
Well, right, exactly. So that's the reason why he came to rescue them, because he needs a ship.
Rescue.
Right, yeah. So whatever happened to him from the time that he was on that ship to now, he's probably lost everything. And now he's going to take it. I don't know. Maybe
never let anybody take your status.
Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know if he's going to take advantage of these kids, but they're in for some trouble. But so April Fresh.
I hope if he does, they don't take away the wrong life lesson from this.
Yes, exactly. April Fresh. Cad Bane was the pirate that showed up in Boba Fett. Yes, he is. Cobb Vanth is the marshal from Mando. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm with you wholeheartedly. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. So episode 3. So just to let you know, to be transparent, we were fortunate enough to see the first 3 episodes of Skeleton Crew, right? And of course, we can't say too much.
Can't say details
about episode 3. But what I do want to say is,
it's
not giving away spoilers, it's actually my favorite of the 3. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think people are going to be impressed with episode 3. And there's going to be a brand new character, as far as I know, a brand new character that I think Star Wars fans are going to go crazy for. I think this character is going to be a great hit. You're looking at me like, what character is that? Don't worry about it. In my opinion, this character that we're going to see in episode 3, I think is going to make a big impact. I think, that's all I'm going to say.
Just tell me after the show.
Yeah, I'll tell you after the show. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great part about, having 2 people on the podcast.
Yeah,
they'll tell you stuff.
Yeah, right. Well, I've seen the episode more than once, so I remember. But yeah, once you see it again, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, so that's episode 3. So we'll be back next week to discuss that episode, spoiler review. So the next episode drops on Tuesday. Can't wait for it. So if you have not seen our interviews on YouTube, or I think we have them on audio now, but our interviews with John Watts and Chris Ford are available along with the cast of Skeleton Crew. It was a lot of fun, so much fun. We want to say, Baraxium Outpost, okay? It is the holiday season. If you're looking for gifts, toys, all right?
Send them to me.
Yes. Besides, and if you send them to Keith, you want to buy them from Baraxium Outpost, okay? Our friend to the show, family member Chris Ryans is the proprietor of this small business. So if you want to support a small business, please do so. We'll put the web address in the chat. HTTPS Baraxium Outpost is www.baraxiumoutpost.com. Please support him. It's just like if you're going to buy something off of Amazon. Amazon's got a lot of money.
What can't you buy off of Amazon?
They got billions of dollars. You know what? They'll be fine. So if you want to buy some toys, some games, go to Braxton Outpost.
Could you buy a car at Amazon? Like, I'm pretty sure you could buy a house.
Oh, look, I can't. I don't know. All right, next thing. Marvel Comics has a new series. If you are a big Marvel Comics fan, you probably know this, but they have started a new series called Star Wars: The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising. It is excellent so far. There's already 7 issues out.
They came fast.
So Rick Villanueva of Jam Transmissions, he and I actually did a spoiler review of the first 2 issues. So we're hoping to continue to do spoilers for the rest of the issues, but it's a great series. And by the way, it takes place kind of within the same timeline as Skeleton Crew, you know?
Nice.
So maybe Skeleton Crew is maybe a few years later, but this comic book series takes place immediately after Return of the Jedi. And I say immediately because Luke and Leia are still on Endor. So that's how immediate it is. So
wow,
if you're a fan of comic books, pick it up. It is awesome. I'm loving it. So it seems like right now everybody, TV series, comic books, not including the High Republic, but everybody is now in this era, The Mandalorian, after episode 6, and I'm so glad because
it's a very nebulous time gap.
Yes,
like 30 years.
So much time in between episode 6 and 7. So
yeah, me personally, I'd like to get a movie set then with some new characters.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool.
All right. So Keith, that is our show. Can you tell us where people can find us?
Google us.
Wonderful. Okay.
I'm kidding. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fatherson Galaxy. Website, fatherson.galaxy.com. Please check out our merch store, fathersongalaxy.myspreadshop.com. And our Patreon page, patreon.com/fathersongalaxy. Please donate. I need to buy bread. We should probably start. Actually, we should. You gonna talk or am I?
Are you done?
No.
Go ahead.
We should put the Skywalker Saga on here. That'd be so much fun.
The Skywalker Saga, a video game?
Yes, like a video game.
Gotcha. Okay.
What do you think? You interested?
Maybe.
Okay, well, you are now, so...
What I want to say, though, is
I need to buy that last DLC. I don't play games until I have all the DLCs.
Got it.
Except Batman 3. I still gotta get that Batman Beyond DLC, so... Okay. If y'all wanna donate me the $2 I need for that.
Okay. And we're on Patreon, right?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, good. Okay. And I understand that we're also now on Blue Sky.
Because we're everywhere, you can't escape us.
That's right, exactly. And TikTok.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
After 3 years of combat, we finally got a TikTok page.
Okay,
so go there and
look,
check out our TikTok.
Exactly.
Where my father will be doing funny dances every day.
I can't wait.
We're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. That's gonna be interesting. I don't think anyone's gonna be interested. All right. So speaking of patrons, thank you to Baraxia and Mary B. We adore you. We can't do this without you. So thank you for continuing to support Father Son Galaxy. All right. So that is it, everyone. If there are no more comments, we are good. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time.